Good morning and welcome to Unity of Modesto. We're delighted that you're here with us this morning. We're going to start off with a song this morning, Yes I Am, by Daniel Namod. Yes, I am here to learn. Yes, I am here to live. Yes, I am here to be the love of God. Yes, I am here to love. Yes, I am here to serve. Yes, I am here to be the love of God, my God. And I know forevermore that I am loved. Yes, I know forevermore that I am loved. Yes, I am here to learn. Yes, I am here to live. Yes, I am here to be the love of God. Yes, I am here to learn. Yes, I am here to live. Yes, I am here to be the love of God, my God. And I know forevermore that I am loved. Yes, I know forevermore that I am loved. Yes, I am here to love. Yes, I am here to serve. Yes, I am here to be the love of God, my God, of God, my God, of God, my God.
Thank you, Margaret. Good morning, everyone. This morning we're going to do the Lord's Prayer the traditional way. So if you'll sing along or hum, you can snap a finger or two. We'll have the Lord's Prayer. Thank you.
Our Father, which art thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debt as we forgive our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from error. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. So this morning, our big announcement is that next Sunday, 1 week from today, bring your appetite and your neighbors and your friends. Grab a stranger or two off the street. You know, we're not really particular. Bring a lot of people in because we are going to celebrate this church. We're going to celebrate each other. We're going to celebrate the 4th of July. We're going to celebrate our brand new reopening of the Fellowship Hall, which is getting absolutely gorgeous. You know, thanks to everyone, and special thanks to Donna, who has, I think, put in 3 weeks worth of work every week, getting it up to snuff, and it's a beautiful color. And now the curtains are going in. Joni's been working on that. So we have a sign-up sheet in the back, and as usual, we'll probably have enough food for 20 times the number of people that are here. So bring your appetite. And right after church next Sunday, we're going to have a celebration. Tomorrow evening is, again, the Zen meditation class right here from 6 to 8 in the evening. It's an 8-week course. If you haven't been, you can come in, join, bring a mat or a cushion to sit on. You may sit on a chair if you're not able to sit on the floor, or if, like some of us, right, like some of us, we can get down, but getting back up requires hiring a crane or something. I'm not sure. This is a free class. The gentleman who's doing it, Douglas Pham, is doing this out of the goodness of his heart and his willingness and desire to share how wonderful, not only the joy, but the health benefits of meditation. And love offerings will be accepted, and we'll be going to the church because Douglas is truly doing this out of his heart. If you're missing out on hearing any of our announcements or emails or anything, call the church and leave a message, or stop by sometime when Jackie's there. She's usually there on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10:30 to 12:30, but call ahead just in case she got called out. And at that time, you can always bring a donation for our food pantry, bring your prayer requests, or drop off your tithes if you haven't had a chance, and just take care of whatever church business you want to. So next Sunday, that's important. Fun is important. So this morning's daily word: I do what is mine to do and release the rest. How much of our life would be simpler if we could really take this to heart? I do what is mine to do, which is really important. I don't shirk. And then I release everything else. I am equipped with powerful spiritual tools to use toward creating the life of my dreams. Through prayer and meditation, visualization and affirmation, I'm willing to work for what I want to see manifest in my life and in the lives of those I care about. Sometimes I can be so focused on what I'm doing that I forget the importance of stepping back from my efforts and releasing my attachment to specific outcomes. There's a great peace that comes from knowing I have done all I can do. And then, in perfect peace and clarity, releasing outcomes to the divine that is in all people and all circumstances. I heed my guidance to discern when to take action and when to yield to the activity of spirit. And from Matthew 6:33, but strive first for the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. And our affirmation? We have an affirmation. There it is. For June. And this is the end of June. Yeah, year's almost half over. Okay. Let's take a nice deep breath and say together, Unity of Modesto is our healing home. Our growing congregation is a constant source of love, support, and spiritual wisdom. A reminder of why we come. And now it's our prayer box. In the back, we have our prayer box, and this is where you place, just jot down real simply, first name of anyone you're concerned about for their health or mental, physical, whatever, or any circumstance. And certainly today, we can be praying for the situation in Miami, because we've all seen the picture of the building coming down, and that really impresses your mind. So in a way, we want to erase that visual image and go beyond that physical and the visual thing, and pray for the souls of everyone involved, and anything else in the world that is concerning you. Again, like our daily word reminded us, we do what we can do, which is pray, and then we let go. So let's join together. Nice deep breath and let it out. And as we release a breath, we release concerns and worries and fears. And we go inward and remind ourselves that there's only one power in the universe. It is powerful. There's only one love, strong power, love in the universe. And that power and love and mind, all those names we have for God, is everywhere present, in, through, and around anyone and any situation that has come to our mind. And we release and let go to let that power work, and know that all is in divine right mind, that things are coming together, not falling apart. They're falling together, and solutions are found. Resolution is found. Whatever is required for what you have in mind, let it go and know that it is done. And see the final completion, healing, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, psychological, financial, social, whatever, it is restored. And all is well, and it is done at a point in time that we may not know when that comes, but it's done right now, this instant, in divine mind. And so we can relax and let go and continue to do what we can do and let go of all the rest. And for this, we are so filled with gratitude. We are so grateful that God is and has taken care of everything. And so it is. Amen. And now we have some beautiful.
In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is peace. In the stillness of this moment there is love. There is love. In the stillness of this moment, there is love. There is love. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is love. In the stillness of this moment I feel love. I feel In the stillness of this moment, I feel love. I feel love. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment I feel love. In the stillness of this moment I feel love.
Invite you in this moment, open up to that beautiful breath of spirit. And let's take in that breath of love together. Let's breathe that in. Releasing love into the universe and becoming fully present in this moment, allowing what has come before to dissolve and what will come after. Being fully present with the truth that God is everywhere present, all powerful. Can you feel that? All powerful, all present. Feeling that beautiful love through your heart. And we know in this moment, I am that I am, claiming your divine nature, your divine identity, your Christ mind. I am that I am. And I know in every breath, I am the power of love. Feeling the warmth and the power of love, just opening up your heart to the truth of who you are and whose you are. Continuing to breathe and just surrender into knowing that your divine power of love touches every cell, every fiber, and in between. Healing, spiritual healing, mind, body, and soul. And bringing into this very moment anyone who is on your heart, in your mind. We know that we are one with every soul that is experiencing the situation in Miami, anywhere, throughout the universe, throughout the world. Know that our oneness is always connected in love and healing love. And I invite you to just sit in the silence, feeling your divineness of healing love. So we continue in this present moment of love, knowing our oneness, our spiritual beingness, that it's guiding us, complementing our human experience on this path. Knowing that our divineness and divine nature fills us with the power of faith, that we are one with faith, trusting that as we hold that faith wrapped in love and the power of our wisdom, our divine power of wisdom, that beautiful inner voice that, as we listen with love, we hear what is ours to do. We are called to our highest and best expression of our unique divineness. I am that I am. I am that I am. That expression of God, made in the likeness and the image. Trusting and knowing that the love, the healing power on any level, spiritual, physical, is already done. We are filled with gratitude and appreciation to know our truth, to know our divineness on this human path. And we thank you, Spirit, for this oneness, raising the consciousness this morning for this congregation and the world and the universe. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, Rev Nancy, for moving me. Yeah. Oh, no, that's all right. I think some of you know who I am. We're all one with Spirit, so you already know me, right? Truly. And so I have met some of you before. What a privilege to be here to serve you again. I just, my friend Moon, who is our steady Unity Center of Davis, we've been church in a truck for 14 years. This guy is the wingman at Unity Center of Davis. So as we walked in, Moon, I said, look at the garden. Look, they've got the sound equipment. They've got everything here. And he started drooling. Like I won't say a pit bull. What are those other labs? The ones that just drool a lot. St. Bernard, thank you, St. Bernard. Anyway, with that, I am Monica Hart. And I've been a prayer chaplain for 21 years, and more recently, in the last couple of years, I had the privilege of being invited into the Kaiser Permanente program to become a clinical chaplain and work in the hospital emergency ICU for a year, 40 hours a week, being there with people that don't, if you're in the hospital, you don't always make it. So the privilege of being there with that spiritual being and watching them accept their peace and their healing in that moment. So first of all, I have to thank Spirit because this is a partnership with Spirit. And when Rev Sharon and the team said, well, this month is all about healing. Okay, good one for me. And of course, we always teach what we need to learn, right? And so I'm going to invite us as we continue in that feeling of the meditation to know that we are one with Spirit. I am that I am. And I don't know how many of you are familiar. Robert Brumet, Reverend Robert Brumet, the quest for wholeness, healing ourselves, healing the world. I'm sure the ministers in this room are very, very familiar with. So this is one of my favorite books, and going back and looking at what Spirit and I wanted to share around healing, this spoke to me. So it jumped off my bookcase and said, okay, Spirit. So what I'd like to spend our brief few minutes on is, what is spiritual healing? The foundation of all spiritual healing. What stops us from fully expressing our spiritual nature and the pathway to wholeness. So what is spiritual healing? Prayer and spiritual healing, again, is the origin of the unity movement, and still is the foundation of the unity movement. So spiritual healing it's this movement toward greater wholeness and being, our divine identity, our divine nature. As we prayed through the meditation, it is this spiritual healing, is this idea of reawakening to the truth that is always there within us, raising our consciousness, opening up to what is already wholly whole and complete. So there are different forms of spiritual healing. And it is so important not to become attached to any form of spiritual healing. Because as we feel that oneness with Spirit, we surrender and we allow Spirit to heal us right where we are, where we need to be healed. To let go of the attachment of thinking, this is how I need to be healed. So typically, as we stay in our spiritual divineness, and I will admit sometimes my ego illusion, my humanness seeps in. Does that happen to any of you? Yeah. Good, thank you. Thank you for supporting me. So the idea that healing, as we step into the human experience, we think, oh, it's the disappearance of a symptom, right? And so I will share this little story with you. 2 weeks ago, I was out hiking with my granddaughter because she's doing Make-A-Wish, raising money, doing a hike at the end of August. And I thought, well, I run 5 miles every day and lift weights and blah, 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 blah. Had my new hiking shoes on, and we went to Mount Diablo. Have you ever hiked Mount Diablo? Okay, well, the path narrows down 20 inches, 22 inches. And I'm feeling I'm saying, well, I'm the Nana boy. I better be able to keep up with these young 22-year-olds. So I'm being a blank blank, and I'm way ahead of them. Fell down on some rocks, 10 stitches later. And of course, the immediate thought I had was, oh my gosh, we got to get this healed. It's bleeding. How am I going to get back? I'm 4 miles out. 4 miles in, I had to walk out 4 miles just to get to the car. And so Summer turned to me and she said, Nana, you are really calm. What's going on? I'd be crying and screaming right now. You are so calm. And I said to her, what I'm doing is I'm practicing my unity principles. I'm breathing. One breath at a time. And in this moment, it is not about my physical healing. It is about my spiritual healing, my ability to stay present one step at a time, one breath at a time, trusting, surrendering, knowing that God and Spirit are carrying me and moving me forward. So I had that choice in that moment that I knew to get back 4 miles. I had to be fully present. How many of you have experienced a miracle? Yes. So there's no limit on what can be healed. There is only a limit to what we can explain. And so when we look at whatever our miracle has been, we limit how we're thinking about it because there's no limit on a healing miracle or whatever is taking place in our life. God is good. God is present. Spirit is present, always, always providing the highest and best for us. So sometimes symptoms don't disappear. And this was my experience with a number of patients through that year in ICU when the chaplain was called to come and be with them. And I can tell you, how can I describe this? Sitting there, holding that person's hand if they were conscious. I remember one person, Carrie, who had been diagnosed with stomach cancer. And there was this calm peace with her. And I could feel my oneness with her. She didn't ask for prayer. She just wanted to be one with me, holding her hand. And she said, Monica, I feel so peaceful. I feel so healed within my heart. And this was a woman who was Catholic. So her God was outside. And I know that peace, even though my physical body will not heal, I know I am one with my God. And I am going to heaven. So spiritual healing can occur even when the body does not heal. Have you ever had an instant healing? Have you ever had an instant healing? So this idea of instant healing for me is the realization that once I surrender into my divineness, letting go of resistance, that there have been certain things in my life, forgiveness for my father, that all of a sudden after 25 years, a shift, an instant healing. What is the foundation of all spiritual healing? Martha Smock, as quoted in The Quest, and if you're not familiar with her, and I wasn't, she was the editor of the Daily Word magazine for 33 years. Some of you probably know that. And the author of Meet It with Faith. So, the foundation of all spiritual healing, and we've already been talking about it, to realize healing is to have the awareness of God as a living presence, not apart from us, but the very life in which we live. Can you feel that? Breathing it. Just breathe it in. We know there is only one presence, one power. We've already talked about that this morning. Prayed about it. One presence, one power, one reality, which is only God. Omniscience. All consciousness. Omnipotence. All power. Omnipresence, everywhereness. We are the wave in the ocean. We cannot separate. We're part of the universe. We are intrinsically spiritual beings, and so if we believe that, we cannot be sick, be in lack, unhappy, because we are wholeness itself. But wait a minute. And I'll speak through my own experience. But wait a minute, Monica. You're in this humanity vehicle. Like, I got this earth suit on, which I had a very difficult time selecting what I was going to wear this morning, wondering if it still fit, because it's been 18 months since I've had this dress on. So, I'm a spiritual being, but I forget. Do any of you forget sometimes? I often forget, and I've told all of my friends, and I would tell the patients at Kaiser, look, I'm going through the clinical chaplaincy program because I know I need a lot of training and lots of practice to remember, to stay conscious. And so that's why I'm going through the program, because I need the practice. And then I'm sitting in my meditation. It was Thursday night. I was having a challenging time with the thoughts that kept running through my head. Does that ever happen to you when you meditate? Great, thank you. I feel really comfortable knowing there's someone else. And I keep thinking, well, I'm just not doing it right. Here I am in my humanness, in my mind, And what I find is if I can go back, stop for a moment, take that breath. I'm one with you, Spirit. I am that I am. That in that moment I can come back with that breath to know that the human vehicle that I'm riding in is not my truth. My spiritual beingness is what is complementing and guiding me through my life journey. And knowing that this idea, the humanness of me, well, I'll just pray harder. I'll just meditate more. Maybe that'll make me more spiritual. The truth is, our true nature is spirit. Chinese proverb, the snow goose need do nothing to make itself white. We need to do nothing to become more spiritual, Monica. Thank you very much. So what stops us from fully expressing our spiritual nature? Rev Nancy touched on this and did a great job with the prayer. And that is, we see the news or we see something happening and we start embracing facts, situations, circumstances, right? The appearances. And I don't know about you, but my little ego mind, my chatter ego mind illusion flips into thinking it's real. Getting stuck and leading with my human experience. And what happens is that human experience, the illusion of riding in this human vehicle and forgetting for a moment, causes suffering for me. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional, Monica. Do any of you experience any of that suffering stuff? I feel really good. I'm not alone. Believing something to be real when it isn't. Sometimes we forget, as we just talked about, we become blind. I call it falling asleep. Uncle Moon knows I say that all the time. I've just fallen asleep again. I've forgotten my greatness. Do you ever forget your greatness? You are holy, whole, and complete, made in the image and likeness of God. And when I fall asleep, I suffer. And the suffering by human nature, spiritual beings riding in this human vehicle, it is so part of our programming, we just, before we know it, we've separated and we're feeling the suffering. The role of our human nature is to serve as an expression of our spiritual nature. To the degree that it does, we live with ease and joy. To the extent that it does not, we experience suffering and disease. When Jesus said, in the world you will have tribulation, John 16:33, he was referring to the world of separation. When he said, I have overcome the world, he meant that he had overcome the illusion of separation. Jesus recognized that I and the Father are one. One of the most magnificent healing opportunities I had was with one of your ministers, Reverend Catherine Brenson. And she, apparently, I was looking on your history, and she had served your ministry back in 2005 for 9 months. Well, she was referred to us, Moon. It was back in 2019, right? And I was the board president at the time. Had this amazing team, board members, and we did the search. In fact, we had invited her on a number of occasions because of Reverend Sonia Milton had referred her to me, and I had this conversation, and before I even brought her in as a speaker, and oh my gosh, would we be blessed just to have her speak? So we brought her on board in April of 2019, and July 2nd, 2 years ago, she made her transition suddenly. So I sat with her and her sisters on a Saturday evening about 5 o'clock, and she said, I want to have my favorite meal, barbecued ribs, coleslaw. And so I felt very privileged. I was 6 months into my clinical chaplaincy program, and I just finished a Saturday shift at Kaiser, and I was the only chaplain on duty that day in the hospital. She wanted me to be there with her. So she ate a little bit and sat in her wingback chair. She turned to me and she said, Monica, I feel spiritually healed. I know that my body is not going to heal, but I am wholly, whole and complete. I feel very complete. I am ready. I'm ready to say goodbye. I'm ready to leave and go off on my next journey. And I would say that in that moment, being there with her was the greatest lesson for me around being a spiritual being, a divine spiritual being on this human path. She was the most incredible gift to us at Unity Center of Davis. So July 2nd, it will be 2 years when she made her transition. Hold her in prayer, and she is definitely one of my angels. So let's talk about this. What is this pathway to wholeness? Highly recommend how many of you have read this book? I'm sure some of these. Oh, gee. And I've read it, but it was a long time ago, and I thought, I like it. And Brumet did the other book is the transition book. Are you familiar with his transition book? That one is excellent, all about life and every area of transition, kind of walking through the grief and the void and spiritually to be able to heal. So Dr. Carl Jung referred to the self. The self, each of you have yourself, myself, the self, the archetype of wholeness. And when I went back in and reviewed everything, I'm going, oh, okay. Now it's really making sense to me. So the self is defined our collective unconsciousness, memories inherited by the past history of the entire human race. Your little self is walking around with all of this history. And, Monica, pre-existing patterns of behavior, perceptions, and understanding. Oh my gosh. Ooh, is that why I act like my mother? My father? Oh my gosh, I can hear her speaking. Oh, that explains it. And so, knowing that, to be able to begin to connect that with a process called individuation. Individuation. I hear that cute little fur baby barking out there. He's individuating himself out there. He's just, treats are coming to him, I'm sure. So individuation is achieving wholeness of experiencing self, not perfection, completeness. That is the reconciliation of the opposites within ourselves. Is anyone familiar with the shadow side? The shadow side, Monica? Oh, yeah. So what happens is we usually identify with one side of the conflict. There's always a pair. And those sub-personalities, they're polar opposite, passive, aggressive, victim, victimizer, thinking, feeling, parent, child. Oh, that's one of my favorites. And inner child. I'll give you an example. So I'll admit it, I don't want to recover from sugar at all. I'm addicted to sugar. I do not want to recover, okay? I'm not going to recover, so don't ask me. So the polar opposite, think about, as I'm describing my story, think of one for yourself. So I like carrot cake, my favorite. I go into Nugget, Safeway, and I swarm. I'm swarming. I'm looking for the biggest piece that maybe whoever was cutting up that cake, I can tell which one is the biggest piece and the most icing. And I am just, I can taste the cream cheese icing. I deserve it. I deserve it. I'm a good girl. I ran 5 miles. I'm not even, I'm going to eat the whole thing when I get it home. I'm still, I'm not in touch with the parent-child, the shadowy stuff. However, oh, it's so good. You know that flavor. I eat it. This happens to me all the time. Oh my gosh. I'm feeling guilty, shameful. Because my parent-child, as a child growing up, this is the shadowy side, said, you are going to get fat. You're going to be fat. You're fat. You will get fat if you eat. So think of a situation in your life where, again, you've got this polar opposite. Think of a situation. Is it, I'll tell you about another situation. Uncle Moon driving, and he had strict instructions: quiet in the car. I just want to be fully present. He said, well, I've got one thing I have to tell you before, and then I'll be quiet. Oh my gosh, somebody backed into my car. And I said, how does that make you feel? Well, the car doesn't look right. No, that's not a feeling. Well, if I'm driving a car that is not really looking good, then they're going to think that I'm not a very good person. The point of the story is, think about your own situation. There are two sides to the coin, polar opposites. What is the shadowy piece? It's the tip is fine. We're good with that. The cake was great. What is submerged under the surface in your shadowy side that holds you back and separates you in pain and suffering from your divineness? What are those feelings and emotions? Are you willing to really take a look at those feelings and emotions? That is what creates the suffering. That is what disconnects us from our divine beingness. Now, I'm looking at the time. So some of the ways that help me to reawaken to my divine nature and consciousness: journaling, writing. Until you can get down to the taproot, to the bottom, and open up the feelings and emotions. If you're not able to connect with the feelings and emotions, that's what continues to keep you stuck. So all of our unity, denial, affirmation prayers are great. However, unless we are willing to look at what is underneath. So silent unity. Myrtle Fillmore, my goodness. Do all of you, I'm sure you do know that in 1890, Myrtle Fillmore created Society of Silent Help. I'm sure you know that. This is just a review for all of you. It has been the whole morning. And when she began that, before it actually became Silent Unity, they prayed this and held it in thought for 15 minutes every day. And I'd like to close with this. God is all goodness. Just close your eyes and take in a deep breath and just sink into this with me. God is all goodness and everywhere present. He is the loving Father, and I am his child, and I have all his attributes of life, love, truth, and intelligence. In him is all health, strength, wisdom and harmony. And as his child, these become mine by a recognition of the truth that God is all. Amen.
Thank you, Monica. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and true and free as I continue walking in this mystery. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am kinder every moment, every day. There may be walls, there may be roadblocks on my way, but I can choose to take a higher path each day. And now I know that what I thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that weighed me down. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am grateful every moment, every day. And I am wiser every moment, every day. And I'm more loving every moment, every day.
Thank you, and thank you so much, Monica. We have our work cut out for us, right? All our wonderful goals to work towards the merging and melding of our true self. And right now, we get to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and express our gratitude with our donations, our tithes, and our love and our blessings. When you drop something in, give us a blessing and love, and that's so powerful. And let's say together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. My gift goes forth on the wings of love, and it heals where it may heal and bless. It returns to me, multiplied 1,000-fold, as the universe says yes, yes, as the universe says yes. My gift goes forth on the wings of love, and it lands where it can heal and bless. It returns to me, multiplied 1,000-fold, as the universe says yes.
And now we will close with the peace song. Thank you for peace on earth. I know it begins with me. Thank you for peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment peace eternally. Thank you for peace on earth. I know it begins with me.
And let us say together the prayer for protection and carry it with us this coming week in our hearts. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Sometimes things just don't want to work.